Hey guys, this is NUSensei. Today we'll be taking a look at the win&win Wiawis A-1 Quiver. Win&win aren't particularly known for their quivers, though their discontinued model was a luxurious and costly design. The Wiawis A-1 Quiver still touches the high end of the cost spectrum. What's so special about this quiver? We'll start off with the external features. The quiver boasts a magnetic zipper system, which is basically a fancy way of saying the zippers work really smoothly and they have a very nice win&win logo. There are two compartments on the outside of the quiver. The width of the quiver is not much different to the slimmer designs from other brands, though not as wide and spacious as larger quivers such as the Eastern models. It's enough to fit in some essential tools and spares, but you might find the space to be lacking if you use your quiver like an extended toolkit. There is a hip pouch which contains two compartments, one intended for individual Allen keys, though I've used it to store multi-tools, and one larger compartment which I use to drop my finger tab inside. There are also a couple of neat mini features. There is a pen holder sewn into the quiver, and you always need a pen when shooting on the range. There is also a slit along the quiver where you can slide your bow square. The quiver comes with a belt. It is attached by this rather stylish metal clasp, making it easy to put on and it stays on. The belt itself is also easily adjustable. The quiver also comes with this metal hook. This is designed to be slipped onto the belt and you can use it to hang your release aid or finger tab. While handy, the hook doesn't really stay on by itself. This isn't too bad if you tighten the belt, but I found that you can easily lose it when taken off the quiver, so I don't make use of it myself. The A-1 quiver contains 3 plastic tubes, enough for most purposes. The arrows slide in quite nicely. The main drawcard of the Wiawis A-1 is the fact that the quiver tubes have magnetic bottoms. This allows you to dazzle your fellow archers by performing the magic trick of turning your quiver upside down and having nothing fall out. It's actually stronger than it looks. It takes a bit of shaking to get the arrows to drop. I'm not entirely sure when you really need this function. I've only dropped arrows from a hip quiver back when I used the flimsy cheap clip-on ones, but most commercial hip quivers are quite stable. Still, it's impressive. One benefit of the magnetic quiver is that the arrows don't move around as much. This has the effect of making it somewhat quieter when walking around. Compared to my previous Eastern quiver, I think this is actually a legitimate claim. Come to think of it, the more you move the quiver around, the more you appreciate how perfectly the shafts keep their place. Finally, should you want to store the quiver and belt separately, they can be detached. The two parts are joined by metal buttons and a Velcro strip. One of the benefits of this magnetic design, which I didn't anticipate, was it's actually really useful for transportation. I'm the sort of person who tends to just throw the quiver in the back of the car. And by the time you reach the range, your arrows are kind of thrown around everywhere. So the magnets in this quiver stop that from happening. So you put your quiver in your car, you take it out, and nothing's moved. And we said before that the magnets aren't that powerful, but you really have to shake the quiver to make the arrows fall out. So this will actually survive a regular car trip without your arrows coming out. So if you're that kind of person and you're not putting your arrows in a separate case, then this is actually pretty handy. What I like about the win&win quiver is that it's quite compact, it's light, It's a sleek shape, very simple design. The accents look nice, the zippers look really good. Lots of win-and-win branding. So if you want to promote your win-and-win loyalty, like I am, then this looks really nice. And it does come in good colors as well, blue, red and black. I wanted black originally, but I ran out of stock, so went to blue. Looks just as good. It also, the magnets are nice. I think it does make a difference. It does feel nice to put the arrow in, take it out, and they do kind of maintain where they sit in the quiver. So it does have a nice feel when using it, which is something you don't really measure in the quiver, but definitely something which has a nice, luxury factor to it. Downside, space. Because of its slim design, there's less carrying space for accessories and tools. I'm the sort of person who likes carrying everything with me. I know some people will prefer carrying it in their case, but I make sure that I've got enough spare parts and tools, so in case I have to do immediate repair for myself or somebody else, I've got it in my quiver. That's quite common at a club or a range. So compared to my older quiver, which was the Eastern hip quiver, this has much less space, and while it is lighter, you don't carry as much in it. This isn't a problem for the most part, and in fact I've managed to fit in most of my tools here anyway. It's not as neatly organized because the other quivers have more elastic bands or more carrying space, so you can sort things out quite neatly. Here I've just crammed everything in, so if I want to grab my pliers, I have to kind of be a little more awkward in pulling things out, but not a big problem. It's just like you accept that because it's a smaller, lighter design, you're not going to fit as much in, and this probably wouldn't affect most of you. I'm not going to care that much. If I can't carry like all my hot melt sticks and lighters, then it doesn't matter that much. But if you are that sort of person who wants your quiver to be the Swiss Army knife, then this might be slightly limiting. The other downside is, of course, the price tag. If you can get this quiver for cheap, nice. But otherwise, this is a serious luxury buy. It's a nice quiver. The design's good, it functions nicely, it feels really nice against your hip. But is it worth that, is it worth 3 times the price of a normal quiver? Definitely not. It looks good, but you could pay half this price or a third of this price for a quiver which functions just the same. You're really paying for the luxury of having the magnetic tubes, and even that arguably isn't that valuable. How many times will you have to accidentally trip over to justify this functionality? I like this because it's like showing off your sorcery skills, to your fellow archers. But as cool as this is, it's not worth that money. So it's a luxury buy. If you get it, it's a good quiver. Will I buy it just for this functionality? Definitely not. You can buy better quivers with more carrying space and more functionality for a lower price. But if you can get this and you want this, then it's nice. Anyway, this is NUSensei. Hope you found this helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.